Hello everyone, welcome to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle reaction video in which we have previously received two hints, one with the movie bosses category and another with the pure Saiyans category, along with the faint image of the domain icon, and both of these signs point towards the inescapable conclusion that the Part 2 LR following up on Part 1 Dokkan Festival Metal Cooler is Yellow Coin Legendary Summon Supreme Tree of Might LR Turles. So, I'm excited to get into his animations and kit. But before I do, please consider liking if you enjoy, and consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy my content as well. So, with that out of the way, let's get into these animations, because from what I can tell, they look very, very good. Very, very good. Alright everyone, jumping straight into it, we have an intro animation reminiscent of the one that the Dokkan Festival Transcended Ultra Rare Turles got. Looks very nice, and of course we have the 12 key super attack with all of Turles' minions coming in the fray, and Turles finishing the job right there. I like the use of the angle right there. I really like the angling right here. Looks really, really, really nice. Really crisp super attack. I like the team up on the 12 key. Looks really good. And then we have the domain expansion as seen from the hint. Oh, having a Tree of Might Turles. Really getting some Tree of Might action in there. Looks very good. Very good. The actual planting animation and the tree itself looks awesome. They did the color grading quite incredibly as well. And look at Turles' battle motion along with the domain itself looking very good. And of course, the 18 key super attack having the Fruit of the Tree of Might. Yo! This actually looks sick! Like, they put a lot of effort into those animations. Now, honestly, the end of that 18 key looked really, really, really not crazy. Like, what? Yeah, that kill driver, this all looks really nice. That could have been better, not gonna lie. That was like, wait, huh? Like, it just kind of went, eh. And then the ending animation looked good, like the fire crack looked really good. Not gonna lie, that looked awesome. But that's the only part of the animation that suffered. Is just a little bit at the end there with the kill driver. And everything else looks above average, to be honest. Like, these are above average animations. And we have a domain animation, we have an intro, we have two super attacks for an LR. This looks really good. I'm actually a big fan of how he looks. He turned out really nicely. He's going to pair well with the Metal Cooler from Part 1 and the King Cold from Part 1, of course, because they're based around, one is Terrifying Conquerors and one is based around movie bosses, so they both kind of work with Turles. Hoping he gets some easy A's, because as we saw with Part 1, we only had the one super easy A, and he wasn't, I heard he wasn't anything special either, so that's kind of unfortunate. That we're kind of lacking in easy A's for this team. That's really quite It's quite I mean, we still got Golden Frieza. Really, like, those are two incredible movie bosses characters, don't get me wrong. But the team could use the help. The team could really use the help right now. It's not like, oh, it's Goku Family. We don't really need to help Goku Family. Or it's Fusions. We don't need to help Fusions. Like, this is movie bosses. And another domain movie bosses at that. Because we've had, like, what? I mean, Broly's a domain. Movie bosses again. Slug. This is just another movie boss's domain character at that. I mean, Extreme anyway has been the bulk of domains, but Extreme movie bosses has been the bulk of domain expansions, really. So that's just super, super, super fun to me. Okay, but with that being said, let me get into the kit breakdown and give you my final thought. Alright everyone, Supreme Tree of Might Turles is a Extreme Tech LR with the leader skill Space Traveling Warriors or Low Class Warrior category, key 3 and HP attack defense 200%. Quite good. Quite good. That's not bad. That's a solid leader skill. It's not on the new meta of leader skills, but for those niche categories, they could definitely use a leader like that. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. It's actually a decently mediocre leader skill. And on to the passive skill, the best fruit activates entrance animation when there's another space traveling warriors or terrifying conquerors ally on the team upon entry. One time key 6 and damage reduction rate 10% for 1 turn. One time space traveling warriors or terrifying conquerors allies key 1 and attack 20% plus an additional key 1 and attack 30% for characters who also belong to planetary destruction category for 4 turns. Basic effects: attack and defense 250%, chance of pouring a critical hit and damage reduction rate 50%. Very good. When HP is 50% or more, guards. When receiving an attack, defense 300%. When attacking with 18 or more key attack, 200 launches an additional super attack. For every super attack performed with 18 or more key 3 up to 6. When attacking with 24 key attack, 200 chance of pulling a critical hit, plus 20% up. For every super attack performed with 24 key 3 up to 6. And when the domain is active, receives an additional key 2 per key speed obtained, recovers 5% HP per key speed obtained up to 50%, attack 200%, chance of pulling a critical hit 30% when attacking, damage reduction rate 25% when receiving an attack. And the link set is Brutal Beatdown, Big Bad Bosses, First for Conquest, Destroyer of the Universe, Team Turles, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. BBB is very good. We love to see that. Category: Space Traveling Warriors, Low Class Warrior, Movie Bosses, Pure Saiyans, Terrifying Conquerors, Final Trump Card, and Planetary Destruction. With these super attack effects, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, Claws the Colossal, and greatly lowers attack and defense on the 12 key, which is the physical, and Kill Driver is a key blast super attack. With the effect, massively raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn, and causes Mega Colossal to the enemy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the domain effect. But first of all, this character does look quite good on the surface. I think he's going to do well, especially because I said, oh yeah, there's Metal Cooler, there's the Cooler, Super Easy A, there is the King Cold, there's the Golden Frieza, there's also Beerus. I think Beerus is movie bosses, correct? Beerus is movie bosses. At least, I hope I don't look dumb by saying Beerus is movie bosses and non-movie bosses. Because of just how the Dragon Ball... Some Beerus is on movie bosses, some of them on super bosses. Same thing with... It's just a weird situation, whether they're from DBS or whether they're from the actual movie itself. But I believe Beerus is from the actual movie itself, correct? Correct? Is that correct, or am I incorrect on that? I am correct on that. Okay, so you can run Beerus with this, especially because there's a lot of planetary destruction support with Beerus movie bosses. You might want to slot that in, especially because Turles supports, so you might have good rotations with that as well, because what is the leader skill again? Space Traveling Warriors? Oh, that might work really well with this, honestly, because Beerus is Space Traveling Warriors. We should be Space Traveling Warriors, I also assume, right? Correct? Yep. That is correct. So you could use all of this move. There's quite a bit to work with here. I still hope for some easy A's. I mean, the physical Turles is coming up on an easy A, but I think that's my thoughts. I think that is my thoughts on what this Turles is going to look like. He's looking pretty good. He's actually looking very, 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 very good. But on to the domain effect. Seed of the Tree of Might can be activated when HP is 50% or less. Or when there is another space-traveling warriors or terrifying conquerors ally attacking in the same turn, starting from the 3rd turn from the character's entry turn, once only creates a domain Tree of Might for 3 turns. Only 3 turns is unfortunate, but let's look at the domain effect. Tree of Might, space-traveling warriors or terrifying conquerors, enemies and allies attack and defense 15% from plus an additional attack and defense 10% for planetary destruction. This might be really solid Beerus support. This might be really nice Beerus support right here. This might be really good Beerus support. You might get something going with Beerus, planetary destruction, movie bosses. This is looking really good for the team, honestly. And increases damage received by superclass enemies and allies by 10% as well. So that's the kit. He looks pretty good, honestly. Unfortunate that the domain is only for 3 turns, but honestly, that might be a good thing for him. Especially because if we see the EZA for eventually the Int Broly, or we run Slug on this team as well, you might be able to see stuff where, okay, we have the domain expire and then we get into another domain, or you can run both Turleses and just expand one domain and then expand the other domain. You could do quite a bit of neat tricks. Honestly, he looks quite good, especially for the shorter end of content. I wouldn't say he's not going to kill Festival of Battle or anything. Absolutely not. No. But he does look pretty good. Does look like a pretty good support unit. I think this is good. I think this is very good. Not passive skill domain either. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate that for sure. You can choose when you activate that domain. I think this is gonna be quite good. I think this is gonna be quite good. Now, if they do a Turles EZA though, he shares the same name with Turles because he's not Turles and his crew, he's just Turles. So if they EZA the physical Turles, that might be an issue. But I think it'll be quite good as it stands right now, even without support. I do think he needs support though. Just because I think he would like support, you know. I think we shouldn't have just this one way to build the team. I think there should be more than enough options rather than just enough options, if that makes sense. Also, by the way, big notice right here. Why is, like, the font for some of this different? Like, okay, let me tell you a quick story. I was looking at this obviously early because apparently the Chinese version posted it early. I'm not going to consider that a leak because they're like, okay, we're just like releasing this a little bit early. That's not a leak to me. Even though leaked Dokkan Battle is very real, I'm not considering that a leak. That is, like, no, they doubled down and posted the animations too early. So I think that was just them like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and do it, right? Like that's fine. I'm not considering that a leak. That's not really a leak to me. It's not a leak to me. It really isn't. Even though it came ahead of the other versions, it's not a leak to me. It's not a big deal. Like, Dokkan has had much worse leaks. That's not that big of a deal. But I saw the font. I'm like, the font for HP attack defense looks a lot different. And I think that's something to do with the big, massive update they dropped randomly. I feel like that's pretty random, right? Because it's not like an anniversary update. It's just like, oh, we're just finally giving all the things y'all wanted. Sell characters, sell bulk. And we're gonna go ahead and do all these really, really nice QOL improvements. I just think that it's just been really slow. It just has been really slow. Like, I've just been mainly focused on the fact that Dragon Ball Legends is going to Zenkai, Goku, and Bardock, and then give a Shallot buff. Like, that's where my mind is at part 2 of the 8th anniversary, because at this point, it's teasing part 2. We're done with part 1, right? It's teasing part 2. But, yeah, I really do think, not to, like, just excessively slander or anything, but I'm just, like, I haven't really been making much Dokkan videos as of lately, right? It's just been, It's just been kind of, Especially without Dragon Stones, it's just been kind of I've just been kind of there, you know? Not really, like, in it, right? Because it's just been, like, there's only so much bubble tapping a person can take before he goes, like, you know what? Do I wanna? Nah. I have a fundamental issue with the bubble tapping mechanics. I do think there are things that they can improve, don't get me wrong. But I do think fundamentally the bubble tapping is quite boring, to be perfectly honest with you. Things do look good, right? This Turles looks good. The team is going to do well. But I just have some fundamental issues, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. But I think I'm going to end it there. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at with Dokkan. I'm just like, no. I'm just feeling really burnt out. Like, no, I'm just like, no. I've forced myself to do one too many videos over challenge events I really didn't want to grind for 3 hours. I would rather be doing something else. I really would. Because it's like, oh my gosh, what if we do this crazy hard Festival of Battle thing? No one's doing it. I'm telling you, once they started doing the limited time stuff, I'm like, I'm out. I'm not doing difficult content anymore. It's just, nope. If it's not even gonna stay around, nope. Absolutely not. And that's not even me being negative. That's not even my definition of slander. I could slander. I'm not going to, though. I didn't say anything crazy, right? Like, the game is in a really good spot. It's not going anywhere. I don't want people to think it's going anywhere. It's really not. Dokkan is such a big giant at this point. It can afford to make a few misses. I'm not gonna lie. It really can. But it's just been quite slow. But they've been doing really good on QOL, quality of life updates. It's just been kind of slow. Alright, y'all? With that being said, I'll gone out of here. Let's get into my final thoughts. But I think I already delivered them, so... Yeah, no, there's no need for a longer final thought section. I'm out. Y'all, hopefully y'all enjoyed. You can tell how unscripted I make these videos, by the way. You can tell that I don't have a script for this. Kind of. The intro script is planned. I rehearse that sometimes. Like, I might sit here for 10-20 minutes doing the intro. I'm not gonna lie. And then I have a script for kind of where I want to talk about. Like, there's some things I'm like, I need to touch on this, and then whatever else happens, right? That's kind of how I script video. I just let things go off the cuff most of the time. But there's some things I'm like, okay, I've been thinking about this for like a week. About how I've really just been enjoying Dragon Ball Legends for the past couple of years. Way over Dokkan, and it's not that close. Like, I'm like, I want to talk about this. I really want to talk about this. I've been thinking about this for days. But then, like, most of the other stuff is, like, off the cuff, right? Right. I also love being on Facecam, even though, I'm not gonna lie, the Facecam is low quality. Like, it's not a good Facecam. It's not a good webcam. I'm just gonna keep it up front. But I like it because you can see me, like, gesturing and stuff. Like, I know even, like, popular, I know, a lot of people who don't have their Facecam on be like, I really kind of do wish I had Facecam on some kind, because I, like, be gesturing like this. I'd be making, like, hello, everyone. Like, I'd be making, like, gestures with my hands. I'd be talking with my hands a lot. I'd be talking with my hands a lot like this. Like, I don't even think about it sometimes. Like, I'll have people come up to me and be like, you're talking with your hands a lot. Like, you're really doing, like, all of this. Like, you're like a band director. You're just doing all of this with your hands. But, out of here. I'm out. I'm looking forward to Part 2 of Legends. That I'm looking forward to a bunch. Will you be seeing a summon video for any of those characters that are coming out Part 2? Absolutely not. Even though it's looking like it might be Shallot Giblet. Hopefully it's story mode. Hopefully it's Game... we'll take Game Originals, to be honest. We'll take Game Originals. If they come back to Game Originals, they could do good with that. But regardless, I am not going to be summoning on that. Not until I get my first copy of Broly. There's no way I'm not walking without pity. If I have to pity Broly and, like, get diddly squat on every single other banner this anniversary, I will do it. Point blank, period. Because I am thinking I'm like 17, 16k away from pity, so I think it's worth it. But enough yap. I'm out. Bye.